Hi folks, Mike with ModSolar here. Today I'm going to show you some pretty extraordinary new technology for the solar industry. It's a key piece of innovation that we're extremely proud of. We've extended our core panel layout technology that some of you may be familiar with to basically produce a materials list for an estimate for a racking system just from the layout, the simple layout that you can do in the ModSolar platform. It's incredibly powerful for streamlining the sales process inside racking system and mounting system companies, as well as distributors and other manufacturers. So let's go ahead and get started. The process starts as it always does with ModSolar by getting a property address, and in this case I'm going to do ModSolar's offices here in Pennsylvania. We've got three categories here to help define the racking system. The first is wind exposure, and in this case we are actually in exposure B, as well as an occupancy category, which I happen to know is occupancy category 2, and then building height. In this case our office building is 42 feet tall. So then we want to tell the system that, hey, it's actually a commercial system that we're going to be doing. Now, normally in the ModSolar platform, you can choose from a variety of modules, but here we're asking you to put your module in. And what's important here is is not just the DC rating, but also the length and the width, because that factors into the calculations and the math that's done to figure out exactly how many panels can fit in a particular location. In this case, we're going to use some pretty vanilla measurements, but please be more exact when you're entering this. So once we're done here, now we go ahead and map the system. So this system here, this roof here, as you'll see, there's a bunch of roofs that we could use. I'm actually going to use just this one right here. And I'm going to blow this up a little bit using my browser zoom. So if you're not familiar with the ModSolar platform, just very quickly and easily, I'm placing points on the roof and can start to mark out an area where I'd like to place panels. And you'll notice that I am leaving some space with setbacks. I can actually move points just by clicking and holding them and dragging them where I want. And I can add as many points as I want. I'm not limited to certain shapes, squares, or triangles. I can really do whatever's needed here. Now you also notice that the area I'm telling the system I want to put panels, I'm actually covering some obstructions. And that's okay. We have the ability to delete panels once we get the layout. So once we're done, we click in the middle. The system tells us approximately how much square footage we have. Not approximately, exactly how much square footage we have. It actually also predicts the azimuth, which in this case is a perpendicular line running over the bottom roof edge or the most south-facing roof edge, as well as a spatial yield for the number of panels we could possibly fit here. But of course, that's just a spatial yield. We'll get much more exact in the next screen. So now that we've done that, let's go ahead and lay out the panels. So this is ModSolar's proprietary patent-pending panel layout technology that compares the dimensions of the panels to the dimensions of each space and actually calculates the best fit for each panel. In this case, we see that if we go with an azimuth layout, we get 145 panels, but if we go with a 4 south layout, we get 132. So obviously we would want to go with an azimuth layout. Now currently these panels are laid out in landscape, although we can certainly switch to portrait, which this racking system can handle. So if your racking system can handle portrait, sometimes portrait can give us a greater layout, and in this case it does. So the azimuth layout just gives us more panels. So now that we know that the azimuth layout is what we want to do, the next step is to actually go ahead and deal with those obstructions. So how do we deal with those obstructions? We have something here called see-through panels. And when we click on it, the panels themselves, the backgrounds drop out, and we can see some of our obstructions. So by clicking and dragging here, I can actually start to delete some panels. I can click to add a few more, add a little finer grain resolution. Okay. And then I can click delete. And now you'll see that the panels disappear. I'm going to do it a little bit more so that we get those panels out of here, and then I'll clean it up around the margins. Okay. So this is how we delete panels, and you can see it's much easier just to spend a minute, not much time, to delete panels and get good shapes around the obstructions. Now, just to make it interesting and show you that the system can really handle just about anything, I'm going to start just deleting, leave a funky space there so that the system, really has to deal with, some pretty aggressive breaks. As a matter of fact, I should probably do more because there's an obstruction, but we'll leave it that way for now. So now that I've got my layout that I want, the next step is to go ahead and review the estimate. So this is really fantastic. I mean, really at one click of a button, once you've got your layout, you can then generate a full estimate for this racking system. And in this case, we've done it for Equilibrium Solar, a nice company in Ohio that has a pretty interesting polymer racking system. Very easy to install and use. And here you'll see that we get exact numbers of materials that are needed for this racking system. 173 of the EcoFoot. We've got the clamps, the deflector kit, and then some engineering services. And it's a full quote with a real price, including a price per watt. Now, once we're done here, we take a look on page 2, and we actually get the project information. So we have, the property information, some of that wind exposure information, the panels, as well as the layout that we did. So once you're done, and of course you've got this amazing estimate, you can go back and make modifications if you want, or if you're satisfied, you could tell the system to send me the estimate. And we see here that the estimate will be emailed to this Mike D test at info@modsolar.net. You can add another email address and have it sent to you. So this, as it stands right now, is actually a lead generation, what we call a widget to be deposited, that can be deposited onto your website so that your customers and partners can come to your website and get an estimate very easily themselves without having to call you and wait for the engineering department. It's really aimed at being a great streamlining tool for your sales departments, for your partners, and ultimately for your customers to make it much easier to do business with you. So ModSolar will be showing this technology in booth 1369 at Solar Power International next week in Orlando. If you'd like a time to talk to us and meet with us and you have a curiosity about this, we'd be happy to do it. Please just either give us a call or email us at info@modsolar.net. Thank you very much.